And we're going to start off with the biggest story of the day, and that is Sandro Tonali. There's been quite a lot that has come out about Sandro Tonali today, and some good, some bad. Samuel Luckhurst says that Tottenham are now prepared to offer Mateus Fernandes a higher salary to trump Man United's offer for 80 million rated Portugal international. I mean, he's not in the World Cup, but Portuguese international. Sammy Mockbell last night said Tottenham are advancing in their efforts for a move for Sandro Tonali and are growing in confidence of securing a move. Actually, that was for...
Fernandes was the first one.
Fernandes was the first one. Elias Burke of The Athletic says that Tottenham are pushing close to both deals for Fernandes and Tonali, with the possibility for development on both fronts made more straightforward as neither player is at the World Cup. Something will happen this week, he's saying. Marsa then claimed that Man City are considering a move for Sandro Tonali and could overtake Tottenham in the race. Gazzetta Italia saying Manchester City are ready to enter the race for Sandro Tonali following the appointment of Enzo Maresca. Jack Gorn of the Mail saying that Rodri is set to have surgery after the World Cup and expected to miss the start of the season. And that's what SZY was actually saying not long ago, saying, Man City going for Sandro Tonali could be tied in to what happens with Rodri, and if he's going to miss it, I don't know how significant the surgery is or how long he's going to miss, but if he is going to miss a significant part of the season, maybe there is some legs to this. Lee Ryder says that Man City understood to make a fresh inquiry for Sandro Tonali, with Tottenham yet to return for a follow-up bid. So a few publications now kind of going off the back of Man City entering the race for Sandro Tonali. The most reliable journalists still saying that Tottenham are very much in the driving seat here. Yeah,
but as we know in football, as I've said many times, it can change very, very quickly. So Tottenham being in the driving seat, if they don't get it signed, sealed and delivered, it's always subject to change, isn't it? I think the most positive things we've heard about this deal is the fact that Tottenham are prepared to pay massive wages, close to 275. Are Man City prepared to go that high? Also, Spurs are prepared to, they've already had, an £80 million bid rejected, and also sounds like they're prepared to go quite high, a lot higher than that, and maybe even with add-ons to 100 million. Are Man City prepared to do that? Those are obviously big question marks. They've just signed Elliot Anderson. I've just seen a report, I think it was from Romano, saying they're very interested in Boadi as well. So are they really going to go for Anderson, Boadi and Tonali? If not, is Tonali, Boadi's probably going to be a much cheaper option. Is Tonali going to, are they prepared to push the belt out? They might be inquiring, they might be looking at what the deal is at the moment, but are they willing to go as far as Tottenham? We have heard, obviously, that there's already been very positive discussions with Tonali and Tottenham as well. So
we've actually heard further than that. We've heard that he's given De Zerbi his word.
Yeah, that's what Damasio said. So is he a man of his word? Maybe he wouldn't want to backtrack. But at the end of the day, if all of what I've said can still be true, and Man City, if they match our fee, if they match our wages, if Maresca has, he's also Italian, isn't he, Maresca? If he has a good conversation with Tonali and he sells him on the project happening there, that could sway him. So as much as all of it's still positive for Tottenham, I think the fact that Man City are coming into this has got to be a worry, because at the end of the day, they are Man City. They are a team that is aiming to challenge for a title next season. Are we at that stage just yet? If you're Tonali, it's a safer bet, isn't it? In terms of, if you're ambitious as a footballer, if all things being equal, money and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, if Tottenham offering a higher wage package, then that gives us some sort of leverage. But if all things being equal, then it's going to be tough to sell him on the Man City thing. But I don't know if Man City are willing to go as high as Tottenham at this moment in time. We heard that they offered a higher financial package, than Man City for Semenyo. I know Semenyo obviously ended up picking Man City. Obviously, a bit different. We were in a relegation battle at the time, all this different stuff. So I kind of understand where financials maybe weren't as much. But right now, clean slate going to the new season. De Zerbi already shown what an impact he's making at Tottenham. So maybe if the financial package and this could sway him in a sense, the financials.
Yeah, look, I think that it could sway him. It depends what he wants. Does he want to go straight fight for the league next season? Does he want to make history in his career, or does he want to join a growing project and get paid more? That's what it comes down to. So we'll see. I mean, I don't doubt that Man City can pay those wages if they need to. You know, they've got a lot of players on that kind of ballpark figure in terms of wages in their squad. I don't doubt that Man City can go match our bid as well for Newcastle. But there's a little feeling of me. I've got a funny feeling that this is kind of Newcastle putting things in the press, because it's been reported that Spurs are the only ones that are seriously in for Tonali right now. And obviously we've had that bid rejected. We haven't made that second bid, or we've heard that we haven't made that second bid. So it might be just Newcastle being like, look, our player's unsettled now. We have to accept he's leaving, but we need to drive up that price. So I've just got a feeling this could be just Man City putting things in. I mean, Newcastle putting things in the press just to drive up that price a bit more.
I mean, according to Capology, you know, the 250 or 275 that we're potentially looking to offer him, that puts him on more than Rodri.
Yeah.
I mean, are they willing to do that?
Yeah, Rodri's due for a new contract this
That's
summer.
the thing, yeah, true. But, like, are they willing to make him one of their highest paid players? Is he actually that important to them, whereas to us he is that important? I mean, they might be. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying, you know, that's a question, isn't it?
And also, you've got to look at it. Bernardo Silva's gone now. Marmoush could be going. Stones has gone. You know, they've got big wages off the book this summer.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not saying it's a definite no. I'm just saying that is a question. Like, for us, he is going to be that important. He is going to be. We're willing to make him our highest paid player because he's that important to us.
If he was to join City, he would get significant game time. He'd be one of their main players in midfield. That's for sure. And I think his wages would reflect that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think when it comes to those big figures that we're talking about for Tottenham, I just think we're more certain to want to pay that than Man City, who maybe and are, and obviously, as we said, already spent big money on Anderson. So are they willing to as well commit such large financial outlay for Tonali if they're not 100% sure on him? That's all I'm asking. Maybe if the fees were a bit lower, I think this should be more guaranteed. But we are talking about massive figures here. So I think there's just a question mark whether they think he's worth that much. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think he is to us.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Elliot Anderson's just gone for 115 million. Are they really going to spend in the space of a week over 200 million for these two players?
But then, are we? That's because that's the talk of us.
It's true. It's true. But, like, Elliot Anderson is not worth the money that they paid. Sandro Tonali is not worth the money that we're talking about. You're only worth as much as, you know, someone's willing to pay. And I think if they're desperate for the player and they know Spurs are going to go to this figure, they're going to have to go to that figure if they want him in.
That's what I'm saying. But as I've said, Man City are known as well that if the figures are just too much for them, if they don't think the player's worth it, it's not they can't afford it, it's just they're not going to go for it. And they've done that before. They've walked away from deals. They rarely actually overpay, I find, for players.
They just did for Anderson, though.
Yeah, but you got also remember Anderson he's starting for England for the last couple of years. He's actually been one of the better centre mids. He's grown a lot in the last 2 years. Like, you know, when Rice was at West Ham, people say he's not 100 million, but look at him now. So I think obviously Anderson for 115, it sounds outrageous, but I mean, considering what Rice signed, how many years ago was it? 3 years ago for 100 million. I mean, when you put it into that context, is it that outrageous in this current market? I don't know. I'm not saying he's worth that. What is worth 100 million? What does that look like? I don't even know anymore.
Look, I don't even know anymore. They're talking about Malo Gusto for 75 million. They're talking about Alex Scott with a year left in his contract for over 80 million.
Like, someone in the comments says, he says Anderson is 60 million max. It's like, well, we're demanding that similar for Bergvall. So how can Anderson be that?
Yeah.
Like, the market is different. Like, people just got to get used to these big figures.
The market has just gone nuts. Like, this summer, like, I think it's even crazier than the last few summers. Like, this summer has just gone into overdrive. It really has. The numbers being bandied about for some of these players is crazy talk. It really is. But you look at it as well, these English clubs, because there's so much money in the Premier League, that is what's driving up this price. They don't need to sell.
Exactly.
We've
all got money.
Exactly.
Like 60 million to Forest isn't what it used to be. Like to now, they know that if they want to replace Anderson, they might need to spend a lot of money, or there needs to be a lot more money in it to make it worth it for them because of the money they're already earning from the Premier League. So, yeah, I think. So what I'm saying is, I think as Anderson for 115 million, when you put it into context with the Rice deal, I actually don't think it's that crazy in this. And he's one of the best midfielders, I think, at the moment in the Premier League, and his stock has risen. So we'll see. We'll see if they go for him and they go for Tonali, and are they going to go for Boadi?
I do think we're going to get Tonali. I do think this is just a bit of smoke and mirrors from Newcastle to drive.
To be fair, all we've heard, it could be true. They're inquiring. My point being is it could all be true what you're hearing, and it still puts Tottenham potentially in the driving seat, just because we haven't heard that Man City are prepared to put the money on the table for Tonali that we are. So until we hear that, then I'm going to start to be worried.
The problem is if they inquire and then Tonali suddenly gets his head turned by Man City, that's where it can become a bit of a problem for us. What if he comes out and being like, I only want to join City, I don't want to join Tottenham? That's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah. It depends how much they're willing to put down, because it could be an unrealistic fee they're willing to pay. And if they can't get Newcastle down there, then it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But, the Athletic saying, well, he was saying that on Fernandes, but we'll see. We'll see. I still think this deal's going to get done. I really do.
Romano, he hasn't said anything, has he? So
Tonali and Tottenham, Tottenham and Tonali.
Exactly. And until Romano changes tune, I'm okay for now.
Yeah. We need just Ornstein just to put this to bed. I'm just fed up of these two sagas, man. Fernandes and Tonali. It's just all we've been speaking about for 2 weeks now, and nothing's changed.
Yeah, but the reality is, just stick on for Tonali for a moment. I think with Fernandes, we'll talk about him in a minute, but Tonali, there obviously is a reason why this hasn't been wrapped up, right? We haven't got the agreement. Is he keeping his options open? Is Newcastle? I think for me, are Newcastle looking to start a bidding war and trying to drive the price up? So,
of course.
Unlike the Fernandes deal, where there seems to be a bit of time pressure with, I don't know if they have to sell. Well, today's the 30th, so I guess
there's no time pressure with either of these deals.
So, I think it's in Newcastle's interest, and it's maybe in Tonali's interest to just let it ride out for a brief moment to see if they could garner the big boys coming in, and maybe that's what they're waiting for. So I think when it comes to Van Hecker, we got that deal wrapped up very quickly, because maybe he was very convinced De Zerbi's my guy, and even if the other guys come in, I want to play for him because he's played under him before. And maybe with Tonali, he likes De Zerbi, he likes the idea maybe of coming to Tottenham, but he doesn't want to jump the gun in case could be some movement, and that's probably suits Newcastle as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get a feeling it's just Spurs' negotiations with Newcastle. We haven't proposed anything that they're willing to accept just yet in terms of maybe payment structure, how much we want to pay. We'll see. I just really hope this gets done. I think this Man City stuff I don't think it's going to hold legs. But that could be famous last words. Because we've seen it all here. We've seen it before, and it always starts with these stupid, tenuous links, doesn't it? And then it just kind of steamrolls into something else. So I guess it's just something we have to keep our eye on and see what happens. Let's talk about Mateus Fernandes then. And by the way, in the bookies, we're still heavy favourites to sign both these players. We actually, with the bookies, make us more likely to sign Mateus Fernandes than Sandro Tonali. And what's been said here is Simon Stone of the BBC saying that Man United have been admirers and remain in talks with West Ham. However, it has appeared that Spurs are more likely to reach West Ham's asking price, thought to be about 80 million. Mateus Fernandes' future should become clearer over the next few days as Man United and Tottenham battle it out to sign the West Ham midfielder. It is anticipated a formal bid is close to being made, which is likely to bring the situation to a head soon. So, I mean, I've heard that for the last couple of weeks now, or last week at least. And nothing seems to progress on Fernandes. It's just like, yeah, Spurs can blow Man United out the water. Spurs can match West Ham's asking price. Why have we not matched our asking price yet? Why is this just like dragging on? Again,
I think, is it how much have we put on the table? I don't know if we have actually made an actual bid, have we?
In the press, nobody's made a bid yet.
Yeah, so again, I think similar to Tonali, they're waiting. They're trying to play us off each other. They're trying to drive the price up. So for them, they're playing the waiting game. I mean, what happened to the? I think there was an idea or the thought that they wanted this done before the 30th. So is that not true?
So what's happened is that West Ham have been taken over now. And,
is that completed? Is it?
Pretty much, and I think he's pumped a lot of money into the club now. So they don't actually need to sell anyone. You know, they're actually got quite a bit of money now, West Ham, so they're not under any pressure to sell anyone. If the chairman pretty much said, if anyone wants to leave, they can leave, but we're not going to be held to ransom by anyone, and we're going to stick to our figures.
Which obviously, that's obviously what he's going to put out, isn't he? Because that gives him more leverage in the negotiation. But in terms of financials and FFP and all this kind of stuff, I was just wondering if what would suit them better if it was before the 30th or not. But I guess the 30th is today, so unless it's happening today, then won't make a difference. But yeah, so I think when it comes to these big deals, I think similar with Fernandes, I think he likes the idea of playing for us, and we're giving right now the financial package. But I guess they're just waiting to try and see if they can eke out any more Man United, because if that does happen, that gives him more options, and also maybe that increases our offer, and maybe that it works for them. So I think right now we're just playing the waiting game, and it's very frustrating because it's been going on for a couple of weeks where we've heard both Tonali and Fernandes that it's looking good for Tottenham, but nothing's happened. We haven't been able to get these deals over the line just yet, and I think the reason is, I think these clubs are being smart about it. They're not just accepting the first bid that they've received. They're trying to create a bidding war, and it's in their interest at the moment to try and drag this out. But the thing is, it's also not in their interest to try and drag out too long, because I mean, when I say too long, I mean like to August or late, because it gives them less time to replace him, and also it makes the likelihood that we maybe move on and move to another target, or Fernandes starts pushing and that could lower the price. So maybe, beginning of July, first half of July, that's kind of the sweet spot, I would say. I don't think they want it for dragging for too long, but I also think playing this game right now works in their favour.
But like, how long are they going to drag this out for? But I feel like Spurs and United could be a lot more proactive on the situation as well. It seems like both the clubs are waiting for another club to make the first move, and nobody's willing to make that first move. It's like a game of chess, it seems like. It's just like, why don't Spurs just go down and slap the money that they're asking for, and then pressure Man United? Because all the story in the press is that saying Man United really want him, but Man United not willing to go up to 80 million. So put that 80 million down on the table if you're willing to pay it. We're all been told that we're willing to pay this money, we're willing to blow Man United out the water, and then put the ball in Man United's court. Let's see.
It's a bit of a game of chicken at the moment, isn't it? And look, as much as Levy's gone and all that kind of stuff, you still need to negotiate, don't you? You still need to. You can't just all the time pay whatever. I know we kind of did that with Van Hecke. I mean, we tried to negotiate, didn't we? And we bid 40 and then 45, and we ended up just paying the 52. Whereas we know Levy factually, I mean, he pretty much said it himself, he wouldn't have done that. So we know we're willing to pay the money. But I guess right now we're trying to use some sort of leverage, trying to see if Man United either walk away or...
we're willing to pay the money, that's what the price is going to be, you know what I mean? Like, if it's all out there, Spurs are willing to pay 80 million, I'm telling you, we're not getting in for a penny less.
You never know. Who knows? You're probably right. And if West Ham as well, the need for them to sell is lesser, then that makes a lot of sense. That we're just going to have to pay the money. But the thing is, we don't really know what Man United's position is, do we? Because we know what they're not willing to pay 80, but what are they willing to pay? Is it 65? Is it 70? Is it 75? Because, if let's say they're only willing to pay 70, and the price is 80, and they walk away, then all of a sudden that strengthens our position, and maybe we could get a bit off. But if they're willing to pay like 75, then you might as well just pay the 80 kind of thing.
I would just go in for a £75 million move, give them more on loan for the year, and see how we go. Surely there's more players that we've got that West Ham would love in the Championship for next season. Surely that would be willing to go there. Do we not have?
Alfie Devine?
Give Radu Dragusin.
Radu?
You know what I mean? These kind of players, like, I think they would smash it at West Ham next season.
Charlison.
Mikey Moore has got to be the biggest one. Like, I think Mikey in the Championship next year for a team that are probably going to be one of the favourites to win the thing next year, it'll be great for both parties.
It'd be a bit dirty to see Mikey Moore in a West Ham shirt, though, wouldn't it?
Look, I keep saying it. There's no rivalry here. What rivalry is this where we just take their players every year? You know what I mean? Like, let them have Mikey. Let them build him up for a year. Like, I'm all for it. I don't care.
Well, I don't. Maybe they wouldn't accept that, just a loan deal without any option to buy or anything.
They're not in a position not to accept a loan deal without an option to buy.
I mean, they are.
Not really, because if not, then fine, we'll just pay the money.
Yeah, exactly. So they are in a position.
Look, if they want Mikey, they can have Mikey on loan. But if not, then don't take him. Like, it's no skin off our back.
But my point being is, if you say, yeah, look, we'll put in a sweetener, yeah, we'll give you Mikey on loan. How much does that get off the price? Probably not much.
Probably not much.
Yeah,
but it gets a little bit off.
5 million.
Builds a few more bridges between the clubs.
Because
VNI has got such a great relationship with West Ham.
Because if they just made a bid for Mikey Moore on loan, how much would we be demanding? 2 to 3 million.
Not much.
Probably.
Nah, less. Yeah. Probably less. I would say. But it's also wages as well, and you're getting a player where I would say just Spurs pay the wages, and you get a player that can make a significant impact for you, and you're paying absolutely nothing for that. So it does have some sort of value. But in terms of getting money off the transfer fee, probably not much.
Yeah. My point being is that's not going to be a deal breaker, is it?
No, but what it could be is something that sways West Ham to more dealing with us than Manchester United.
Right. Potentially. I wonder if Man United have any youngsters that West Ham. Cheetah.
Everyone's just going to send their youngsters to West Ham, but yeah, look, again, another one that's dragging out, and we just need a conclusion. I think all this Tonali and Fernandes stuff is just driving me up the wall. I just need to see a resolution one way or another. I
think we all just want like this, Spurs to be swooping in, getting these deals done, acting decisively, putting the money down and getting these signings over the line and lessening any kind of chances of scuppering these deals or getting hijacked and all these different things. And that, given how we've dealt with transfers in the past, it's completely understandable. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've been talking about these for 2 weeks. I think in modern day, right, in 2026, when you're hearing updates to not even every day, every hour, you're hearing, advancing this, that, it can feel like a lot longer than it is. Like 2 weeks, actually, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that much, considering the transfer window only opened 2 weeks ago.
You know what? It just makes it worse that every single day you have these journalists, same journalists, different journalists, just saying the same bloody thing every single day.
Just in a different way, rewording it.
You know what I mean? It's just like so mind draining.
And it gives off the impression that something is happening every day. Something's changing.
Exclusive. Tottenham are willing to blow Man United out of the water. Then the next day is exclusive. Man United not willing to match Tottenham's offer. You know what I mean? It's just like the same thing every day.
Because at the end of the day, they have to put something out there so people reading keeps them relevant, and gets clicks and gets all this stuff. So, I mean, we're obviously going to report on it because any updates we need to keep everyone updated and informed about what's being said, and I think people like that. But when it comes to these journalists at the moment, right now, it seems as though nothing has really changed over the last week. It's just same update, just in different terms.
Yeah, so again, we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front.